Historical Society on BCTV is supported in part by the Highlands at Wyomissing.
Hello and welcome to the monthly program of the Historical Society of Berks County. I'm your host, Sime Bertolet, Executive Director of the Historical Society of Berks County. Now don't get nervous, I'm only filling in this evening for our President Emeritus, George M. Miser IX. He'll be back next month, we hope. It's always been George's program and it always will be. Again, if you are unaware, George had an accident about the early part of November, and when he fell and tore a ligament in his knee, and so he's pretty much incapacitated right now. But I know you all, as do all of us at the Historical Society, wish George a speedy recovery. I'd like to remind the audience that this program is telecast live the first Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. and then it's rebroadcast the following Friday at 10 p.m. and the following Sunday morning at 9 p.m. as well as Saturday at 6 p.m. You can also visit our website at www.berkshistory.org, and if you click on the multimedia link on the home page, it will take you to a archived version of the program, and you can watch it anytime at your convenience. So I'd like to welcome all of you to the December 2010 program. Seated beside me is Joshua Blay, HSBC Associate Director and Curator, and next to Joshua is newly elected HSBC Vice President Christopher Miller. I'd like to welcome both of you gentlemen to the program tonight. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, sir. Our museum and museum store are open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., but our Henry Johnston Library is closed until after the holidays, and a little bit later in the program we'll be telling you about our holiday closing schedule too. Our museum store is well stocked with a large inventory of books, craft items, and toys.
Yeah, you have a number of those with us tonight.
Yes, we certainly do. Every month we have some monthly specials, 10%, but we also have some special holiday sales of about 20%. This month in December we have 10% off pottery by Lester Breiniger. There's a good shot there.
That's a nice holiday item.
Beautiful candy cane. He made some little pretzels. Some of those weren't even in the store a few days before they flew right out the door. And we also have 10% off on oldie florist ornaments and pottery for the Christmas season.
And that's a tree ornament, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tree ornament, nice little snowman. They also come in red and green, so if you don't like blue...
And they have other tree ornaments as well.
Certainly do. They also have some really nice, they're not pottery, they're tinware. They're little pieces of tin swirled around, like an early forerunner of tinsel.
Okay. Yeah, the gift shop has really expanded its inventory.
They certainly have.
Much wider variety of gift items and things like that.
And they have a fair amount of consignment items that come in and come out. So even if you've been over the summer, there's certainly new stuff here now for the Christmas season.
Yeah, the inventory is really fresh. It looks great.
And we also have 10% off on Linda Beeler wheat weaving. This is one of the easier pieces to bring down. She has some absolutely ornate pieces if you can have a chance. You saw a little snippet of it when the camera was focused on Sime there. And
can you show that? I don't know if they can show that. What camera would we be on for that one?
There we go.
There you go. And that's one of the basic ones, but she has some that are probably 3-4 feet in diameter and very intricate.
Very, very nicely designed, certainly beyond my scope and talent. And we also have 10% off all cookbooks and posters, Pennsylvania Trail of History cookbook. And while it's not on sale this month, we also have a very popular book. We don't have any in stock because they've moved so much. It's called The Pennsylvania Dutch Night Before Christmas, but we also have a coloring book for the Pennsylvania Dutch. I think I might use this as a gift idea myself, but I'm not going to say whose. I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Well, for your folks, you know, you're from New York. I mean, this is unique to Berks County.
Certainly. And also, we special sale, if we can have a look at behind my laptop here, a nice gentleman by the name of Gary Haas, I believe he's passed away, but in the late 90s he made a whole bunch of lucite blocks decorations. Now these are carved from the inside using modified dental tools, and they're on sale for about $37.50, about a discount of 85%. There we go. One of them has a little, you can see, there we go. Actually, that came up pretty good on the screen. The one on the black stand there, that's actually the former county courthouse, which used to be at 5th and Penn Street, and is also part of our logo. and the one beside it is the Reading Hospital clock tower.
Right, they're incredibly well done. I mean, the amount of detail in that small of a format
I don't know if
is lovely.
It's a little hard to see, but I'll see if I can show it to you. This is completely hollow. Here we go. It's completely hollow on the inside, and he basically reverse carved it from the inside using dental tools, and it's a beautifully polished piece of lucite plastic block. But we have a number of buildings on sale. We have One Liberty Place down in Philadelphia, the Betsy Ross House, the Daniel Boone Homestead. We only have one of those left. Widow Finney's, Coots Bridge, and of course the courthouse. And we only have one of those of the clock tower at the Reading Hospital. So whether you're looking for something for yourself or some easy gift-giving ideas, you'll be hard-pressed to walk out of there empty-handed.
Yeah, it really, I mean, it's completely changed. It's beautiful, beautiful shop right now. But, you know, the gift shop is not the only asset that the Historical Society has. And when we talk about the Historical Society, if you're not a member, we encourage you to join us. For as little as $40 a year, you can be a member of the Historical Society of Berks County. And we have so much going on. Exhibits, at least two major exhibits a year. We have many, many different programs. We do tours like the 4 Centuries in Berks Historic Property Tour, our monthly Second Saturday programs. Not to mention, as a member of the Historical Society, you receive the Historical Review of Berks County, our quarterly journal that's been in publication since 1935. That's incredible. It's an award-winning magazine, and it really is very special. You also get updates on the different events that we've got going on at the Historical Society through opening announcements, as well as our members' update triannual newsletter. So you get free admission to the Historical Society Museum as well as our library. So that's what you get for $40. If you decide to join as a family member, you'll get those things for everyone living under the same household. So we encourage you to join the Historical Society of Berks County. It really is a great organization with a lot going for it.
And while we're on the subject of membership, we remind the viewers at home that Berks Community TV, BCTV, is a survivor and a tough venue and a unique entity in that it's interactive. You are encouraged to give us a call with your questions and comments to 610-378-0426.
Yeah, why not salute another great institution of Berks County, BCTV, and all the great programming that it provides to this community. No place else do you get what goes on in Reading but through BCTV. So, you know, send your check. It's $30 for a year's membership, and you can mail the check directly to BCTV at 645 Penn Street in Reading, Pennsylvania, 19601. Did you say we had a home viewer?
Yes, I think we do, son.
Yeah, let's check in with the home viewer. What can we do for you, home viewer? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
I'd like to know on your records that you keep in there, your birth, death, marriage records, what years do they start and what years do they end?
From the inception of Reading in 1748, and it might be even earlier than that.
That's when they start, you mean?
Yeah, that's when they start. We have, I'm trying to think, we might even have some going back to 1730s.
I mean, you don't keep them like 1992 or something.
We have the obits from
They've been doing a lot of vital statistics entries into the computers. I'm not sure about the coverage about that time period. You're welcome to check with the library. However, the library is closed.
Yeah.
We're doing a major high-density storage project. We'll be talking about it later in the program. But if you want to give them a call after they open, which should be after the holidays, please give them a call. They'd be happy to see what they can do for you.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, join BCTV. It's a great organization. Now, let's talk about, we have some things that are coming up at the Historical Society, and one of the things is the Handel Holiday Boutique, which is going to take place on Sunday, December 12th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. But that is a small part of a larger event that's going to be happening that day. And one of the reasons that Chris is here is Chris is also on the Center Park Historic District, and he's come to talk to us a little bit about the Center Park Historic District, what it means to Reading and Berks County, what they do, and they've always been a great neighbor to us, and we love doing things with the Historic District. So, Chris, why don't you tell us, what's going on how maybe a little bit of the history of the historic district and
Sure.
and some background.
The Center Park Historic District, which is in the neighborhood that the Historical Society of Berks County is located in, is to the north of the city. It's basically 840 properties that date from about 1850 to about 1930. And every year, the Historic District opens up different properties during the holiday season. This year, our tour, this is the 26th holiday tour that we've had, will be on December 12th from 1 to 6, as Sime mentioned. And there'll be 5 homes opened up, along with 2 churches in the neighborhood, the offices of the Charles Evans Cemetery, the Feeney Funeral Home, and of course the Historical Society and the Hendel House with the Holiday Boutique. So it's a full day for most people. You can choose to go to all the properties, go to some of the properties. There's something for everyone. And with the homes that are on the tour this year, it's a really great variety of homes and also the way that people decorate. And you'll find that, unlike with a commercial holiday house, this is really, the decorating is more personal to the homeowners. And you'll see that their taste in living are very different also. So there may be some homes that are more contemporary, some that are more to the period of the homes. We have 2 apartments on for people who aren't necessarily looking for a whole house living, but what it's like to live in one of the apartments in the neighborhood. And one of the things that I think is really great is that one of the homeowners is actually going to do their decorating in a green concept, meaning that all the decorations will either be able to be recycled or planted or somehow reused. So this is sort of like a 21st century adaptation on 19th century homes and decorating.
That's good. Did you say, Chris, where do you buy tickets for the
tickets
tour?
will be for sale the day of the tour in Center Park, which is located in the 700 block of Center Avenue, which is also known as Route 61.
People always, without fail, always call the Historical Society and said, or they walk in the day of the tour, I'd like to buy my ticket, please, and I've said, I'm sorry, but you have to go down to Center Park, opposite the Hendel House, and that's where the tickets are.
Since the beginning of the tour, the tickets have always been for sale in the park. You'll see there's a Christmas tree in the center of the park as sort of a landmark. The Society, which is also open for the tour, along with their gift shop, is where there will be refreshments served, and there'll be plenty of cookies and hot beverages to warm up. And facilities.
Yeah, right.
The most important thing. The other thing is at the headquarters for Center Park, which is located at 707 North 5th Street, we'll be selling some items. They're sort of gifts from the past, and I'll hold this up. I don't know if you can zoom in on this closely, but part of Center Park is what's known as the Artifacts Bank, and whenever there's a property that's demolished in the county or the city, Center Park is allowed to go in and salvage a lot of the architectural features. However, when the properties that were demolished at the intersection of 5th Street and Penn Street were demolished, they also had several commercial properties, and in those properties were items that we thought would be great for people to use as gifts, as sort of mementos of Reading's past. And so, of those items, we have for sale wrapping paper that came from Whitner's department store, which was, I think it's been out of business for close to 30 years. So there are probably some people that don't remember it, but obviously for family members that either shopped or worked at Whitner's, to be able to wrap their presents would certainly bring back fond memories. So there is, I think it's approximately 20 to 25 feet It's a lot of paper.
How many rolls do you have of that?
Lots. There's a lot of paper, so don't worry. If you want to buy like 10 rolls, there's plenty to buy.
You didn't get any Pomeroy's, did you?
No, we didn't.
Okay, all right.
Whitners seem to be stocked up on the paper. So if you have relatives that have moved out of the area and you'd love to send them a gift in Whitner's wrapping paper, it's a great opportunity. It's $5 for the roll. And in addition to that, we also have Whitner's boxes that we'll be selling, and also bricks that came from what was originally the Forest Shoe Store. So it's an interesting care package of mementos. Here's a postcard of what the Whitner's store looked like when it was originally built on Penn Street.
That's a great store.
And this will also be given with it too. So
you and I were talking about cold storage before the program started, Chris. Is it too early to tell what the Artifacts Bank is getting from that building? Or?
I think with that building, which is...
Besides a lot of bricks.
Right. It's about 50% down now. The interior is pretty well
shot.
Right. The roof was let go, but we'll probably have some decorative bricks, and probably the medallions with the name of the company will come into the Artifacts Bank.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry, but how much were the tickets to the Center Park tour?
The tickets for the house tour are $12.
Okay.
And again, they are available the day of the tour.
And that's rain or
there
shine.
you go, okay.
And it's rain or shine.
Or
rain and snow or shine. But it's going to be shine.
Yeah, it will be. We know that. Well, you know, the Historical Society takes a great role with Center Park. You know, like you said, you all are really good neighbors and have been great friends to the Historical Society. And Chris mentioned that the Historical Society acts as the venue for where they have refreshments, facilities, that type of thing. You can come in, it's a free day at the Historical Society, and you can see the different exhibits that we have on there. But it's also the day where we open up the Hendel House, and the Hendel House was gifted to us in the year 2000 by Marjorie Hendel Perfect, the granddaughter of the Hendel, Charles Hendel, the hat magnate in town. But it's a great venue because the Hendel House is open for free, and you can come in, and not only can you see this beautiful Victorian mansion, but it's also a day when we're going to have this year 9 artisans. Normally we have 8 to 10 artisans that come in for that day. They set up, show their holiday gifts and that type of thing. So you get to see a beautiful old Victorian house in addition to maybe do some early Christmas shopping. So it's pretty special.
We have about 9 vendors set up for that.
That's right. Yeah, there are 9. Chris, you were one of the early. I mean, I remember when I first came to the Historical Society, Chris was one of the first people, along with Pat and a number of other trustees, who helped establish the Hendel Holiday Boutique. So you have background in that, and we thank you for doing that. But I think it's a really nice day to be able to partner with an organization such as Center Park and bring the citizens of Berks County this event. This is great.
And as we like to say, the houses in Center Park, which for the most part are late 19th, early 20th century, are sort of like cakes with details in the architecture, and at Christmas time it's just sort of like extra icing.
Yeah, it is.
So. I finally got a chance last year to do the pre-tour along with the homeowners, and the quality of the houses decoration, and the one that was just freshly renovated, I don't know if that's going to be on the tour again or not, but it's just amazing when people are so inviting to bring people into their homes for the tour.
I think the people really take pride in their homes, and they really like to show them off. The fact that the craftsmanship that went into the properties probably couldn't be duplicated today, and they realize that, and they just like to show that the homes in Berks County and also in this neighborhood are basically something that you'll never see duplicated again. And
it's a great investment, a great investment in this community to have those homes, available. It really is. Well, anything else on that, Chris?
No, just if you have any questions, you can go on to the Center Park website, which is www.centerpark, spelled CENTREPARK.org. And also the Facebook page, Reading Historic Districts, will also list the information on the tour.
Okay. Well, Chris, thank you very much for being part of the show tonight. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you.
And thank all our friends at Center Park. Okay, now, if it's time for the Center Park Holiday Tour and time for the Hendel Holiday Boutique, it's also time, passing scene time. And we want to talk a little bit about the passing scene 18 tonight. And you know, it's really somewhat awkward because we don't have George here, and he's the author and he's the man who put it all together. But I'm going to make an appeal. George, if you're watching tonight, you can give us a call at 610-378-0426, and maybe you can give us a little bit about, you know, what it was like to put the passing scene together this year, and also tell us how you're doing. I know the staff and I talked to you and talked to Gloria, but the viewers might be interested as well. So if you can give us a call, please do. But anyway, Passing Scene is out. Josh has a copy over there right next to him. Again, it's a one-of-a-kind this year's. I think from what I've seen, it's better probably, or at least of the same, on par with all the rest of them. I think it's better. It's, again, 272 pages on heavy encyclopedic paper, fully restored then and now photographs with commentary by George on the different aspects of the book and the subject matter he's covering. What do we have there? Oh, yeah, there's
there we go.
The Strong Men of Reading. Okay. So it is quite good. I think the over 450 index entries. It's quite a unique piece. This year, the price on it with tax included is $48, Josh?
$48. Cash and carry, or we can send it to you for about $55. And I'm sure Gloria would want me to remind the audience, for those of you that have pre-ordered and want their books to be delivered, we're starting to send them out now. Just please be a little patient with us, and we'll get them out to you definitely in time for the holidays.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think.
Oh, okay. We have a home viewer.
Might have
okay.
a home viewer.
Home viewer, yes. Home viewer, are you there?
Yes, indeed, I am.
Good evening,
Well, that
George.
voice sounds familiar. Where do I know that? George, how you doing?
I've had better days, but I'll survive.
How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? Well, okay, as long as I get plenty of rest and keep my foot elevated.
Okay.
But then I have a tendency to nod off. I feel like Rip Van Winkle.
You're pretty much immobilized.
Very much immobilized, yeah.
Exactly. What happened, George? I mean, we know, but was it a torn ligament?
Well, I slipped on some leaves, and I tried to prevent the slide, hit my heel into the ground, and the heel that I thought would help stop wound up going back underneath my body and hitting my back, and I tore the ligament completely loose from the knee.
Ouch.
Not very pleasant.
You didn't seem to be. See, didn't seem to be in much pain, George, because Doug and I, Gloria and I, were right out there almost as soon as it happened, and you.
You know, I was thinking about that any number of times since then. No, I didn't feel anything for about 2 hours, which was very strange. I felt absolutely nothing. But later that day, reality set in.
Certainly.
And then I had some tests, and that happened on the 10th of November, and on the 11th I had the operation where they did whatever they do to reattach a tendon that was completely separated from the knee.
Didn't you have that knee worked on before, George?
14 years ago I had a knee replacement, and thank goodness that when the accident occurred, I didn't damage that knee replacement from 14 years ago. They said it could have been really bad had I cracked the bone or something.
So this was relatively minor in speaking.
But
yeah.
It all depends it all depends whose knee it is.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
But that was very strange. For 2 hours, I didn't feel a thing.
Wow. Huh. Well.
But anyhow, this too will pass after about 8 weeks in this iron cage that I have around my leg. It reminds me of an Iron Maiden, but for a leg rather than a whole body.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, we're not laughing, George. You make light of a serious situation.
Certainly do. It sounds like a good introductory topic for Volume 19, George.
That's right. Let me comment a little bit about Volume 18, if I may.
Please.
Certainly.
The Reading Eagle Press acquired some sort of a new technique that was for this first the first time this year. And I really felt that for the first time ever in the 28 years that I've been working on books, actually my first book was in 1976, but in the 28 years that I've been working on Passing Scenes, this was the first time ever that what appeared on the printed page was superior to the highest quality prints that I could make either in the dark room or with my computer set up. I was astounded that there was more detail on the digital file than I was able to bring out even using the highest quality paper that I always use, and I have a very good printer. You can take a magnifying glass to virtually any picture in that book, and you don't see, such as you would see years ago, you don't see any of that half-toning. They look like actual photographs. There is no doubt that of the 18 books in the Passing Scene series, this is the best one thus far, thanks to a lot of time spent photo restoring, but with a new process that the Reading Eagle has employed in the printing. You can take a magnifying glass and see so much detail that you can't see with just with the regular eye. They've done a super job, and there are 366 restored photographs, one for each day of leap year, and more than any other book. And this is what takes so long. Sometimes I sit back and think that it's amazing, and I say this objectively, that I can get a book like that together in 1 year, because about half the photographs have a now picture, which doubles the amount of work. If you just take a picture and stick it in a book, that's relatively easy. Right. But to restore every picture and then go out and try to match the exact site where the original was taken for a now view, that actually doubles the work. But it adds so much more interest to the picture, because in any old picture book, in any book that has pictures, whether they're 1880 or whether they're 1960, it doesn't take long for things to change. And the first thing people oftentimes ask, and they did years back before I got into that habit of trying to include as many now pictures as possible, they'd say, well, is it still standing? Yeah. Oh, if it's still standing, what does it look like today? Yeah. Is it still there? And if it's still standing today, what are they doing with it? What I see on your screen right now, you have that community fire company building up there in Kempton. Oh yeah. That's a story and a half. Can you believe that in a little village like Kempton, they had two competing fire companies, one block apart? And
who got to the fire first?
Yeah, who got to the fire first? And there in the inset is that same building as it appeared, I guess, in September. The picture was taken by our good friend, the Dietrichs, up in Crumbsville. But that's a good example of the now and then, because if I just want a picture like this, people would say, is that thing still standing? If it is, what does it look like, or what are they using it for? Well, the answer is it's now a garage, and they keep a Jeep in there. But that's the real advantage of the now pictures. I don't know of any other series of anything local where they have as many now pictures as we've tried to include in the Passing Scene series. But it really does give you a double perspective about what was there and what's there now.
Well, it does give the reader context. I mean, there's closure there, and it adds a personal touch to it that, they wouldn't get anyplace else.
Yes, if you hold that page up again, or any other page, you can see
that one's good. That one's good.
How detailed the information is. Every caption, with very few exceptions, is a mini history of a particular site. I pick up some books, that are issued now and 5-10 years ago, and they'll have 2 or 3 lines of explanation of what the thing is. They don't tell you the exact location, and I always give the exact location. And they give you 2 or 3 lines, and you read that, and you wonder, well, I didn't learn very much. Couldn't they have told me some more? This is what takes so much time. When you do a book like this that covers most of the county, if you do a book, for instance, on Kutztown or Topton or Blandon, everything that you check within that town, and you talk to people who are neighbors and everything else, it doesn't take long to get a body of information. But when you do a book that goes all over the county. I was checking earlier today, and I actually did 168 different historical researches in order to write the captions that appear in this book. It's tough to do a book that covers the whole county because you're going in that many different directions.
Yeah, it's not like you can focus on one specific region.
Exactly.
I mean, you're going far afield on each one of these.
Absolutely.
Things.
And you know, for some of those things, that Kempton picture that you showed, from my house in Exeter Township up to Kempton is about 40 minutes. Oh, that's Gloria Drive, but it's about 40 minutes. And I drove to Kempton about 7 or 8 times. But when I did that one book...
Yeah, but George, you were going up there because Verna was up there.
Well, that was part of it.
Incentive.
Yes, it doesn't take many excuses to head up to Crummsville or Kempton. Because the Dietrichs are good people.
They are.
You know, not only do they have good food, but they genuinely have an interest in local history. They were extremely helpful in the production of this book. I'm very grateful to the help that they've given me. You know, everybody goes to Dietrichs who lives in that general area, and that puts them in a good position to ask folks when they come in, what do they know about this, what do they know about that. And 3 or 4 of the people in the immediate family have a real interest in local history, and they've gathered a lot of information from here or put me in touch with people who could give me specific information. I'm already working on the next book dealing with the Stein 3 Mile House. Remember the old 3 Mile House Hotel there on the way to Crummsville, between Kutztown and Crummsville? It closed maybe, 5-10 years ago. Very interesting building with quite a history to it. And the old Stein Distillery was just behind it on Kohler Hill Road, I guess. And but there's a whole lot of history in that general area, and it's interesting history. So I'm already working on Liscombe, which was the postal designation for the 3 Mile House.
Huh.
I mean, there's just so much history out there, and it's all over the county. It's like solving a mystery every day of the year when you do historical research. And I've already done about 27 pictures for volume 19.
Wow. Huh. Wow. Well, George, how many, I mean, I might have been, how many index entries do you have in 18?
In 18, it exceeds I think it's about 3,000.
About 3,000. That's amazing. That's incredible. And that's really what makes the book so great, because, you know, when Josh uses it for research work, or, you know, when I get a chance to, you can go to the passing scene, you can get into the index, and now we have all the indexes available online through our website. You know, you can look it up and you can immediately be taken to the volume, to the correct volume. If you didn't have that, I mean, you'd be working maybe long and hard.
And not only that, because I do check the things that I've written before, so having that index online, which is Doug has done so much for us in putting that entire index of all 18 volumes online, you can find whatever information you want in about 3 minutes.
Well, yeah. You know, we talk about, you know, on the show many times, you and Josh and myself, we've talked about how much is available through our online website.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I mean, I don't think there's any other historical society in the United States that does, you know, that provides the services that our website does for people who are interested in the subject matter that we are. But I take it that's another whole issue.
I know one more quick word about that index. Today, I think, let me see, we're probably somewhere in the index online that anybody can check for free by going to the Historical Society's homepage. We have about 50,000 index entries for the Passing Scene series. And the people who have volume 1 to 18 have now in their possession 6,846 photographs, most of them restored, and 4,000, very nearly 5,000 pages of historical text. The people who have the whole series, and there are many people out there who have all 18 volumes, so they really have quite a collection of local history, both photographs and information.
That's really sound. Well, you know, George, one of the biggest things about, you know, the greatest things about the Passing Scene series, and everybody looks forward to it, are the autograph sessions that we hold. Now, you know, we got a little sidetracked, you know, that was, accidents happen, and we weren't able to do them with the release of the book. But I believe we want to assure the audience, or at least reassure the audience, maybe is a better word, that we are going to do those. Is that right?
Yes, sometime in December.
Well, now, wait a minute. December. I don't think you're going to be ready then, are you?
Well, I certainly hope so.
That'd be great.
There for a while, I was really distressed if I didn't have my foot elevated. And then when I'd have my foot elevated for a while, it began to pain me, and I'd have to crawl into bed and just sort of just completely relax flat on my back. But I'm hoping that sometime in December, and I'm hoping that before the holidays, we'll have a chance at least one day, or perhaps two. I don't know how long I can. I can't do it for 8 hours, but I can certainly do it for maybe 2 or 3 hours in one session, 2 or 3 hours in another session, maybe do it like on 2 separate days. I'm going to try to do that because I know that people will be disappointed.
Why don't you just talk to NASA and get a zero gravity set up somewhere? You wouldn't have to worry about it.
Well, I know, George, like I said, everybody wants to have you autograph their Passing Scene series, but I also know that they care enough about you that they want you to get well. So whether it's in December or whether it's in January, we're going to keep people apprised of your progress, how you're doing, and when you're ready, then you come into the Historical Society and do the autograph.
We'll set up a time and let people know. We'll try to get some publicity on it, so that they know what's happening.
Okay, all right. Well, George, I know that, you know, like I said, the audience won't see you until that, and I'm sure the way we probably won't either on the staff, but we want to wish you and Gloria a real speedy recovery and a really happy holiday season.
Well, we thank you much. We're looking forward to lots of rest.
All right.
You're here with us in spirit, George.
You are in spirit, for sure.
And hardcover.
Now, we can fill this chair like you do, my friend.
Okay.
All right. You take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, George. Okay. Okay, I guess we have to do a break right now, so let's take care of the break.
You're watching the Historical Society of Berks County on hsbctv.org. Be informed. Be involved. Be a member. For membership information, go to www.bctv.org/support/membership. For other information on local heritage societies and local history, go to bctv.org. The Historical Society of Berks County on bctv.org is underwritten by the Highlands. To find out how you and your business can support a program on BCTV, go to bctv.org.
We're back on. Okay, Joshua, why don't we talk a little bit about the exhibits, current and upcoming?
Certainly. Before we get to that, just a real quick thing about the Passing Scene. One of the photos in George's book is of course, the much lamented outer station, which was right here, actually just north of here, a few blocks. I've always wondered, there would have been 4 clock faces there. You can see the clock dial there in the top left-hand side of your screen. I always wondered if one of those 4 clock faces survived. Someone didn't think so, because they were made of like 1-inch thick opalescent glass. They would have been pretty darn difficult to bring down. But we know the mechanism survived, so if anybody ever knew of a clock face to survive, please give us a call at work, 610-374-375, and we'll maybe figure out one more little mystery of Berks County history.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do we got going on?
Right now, it seems hard to say this because it seems like we were just planning for this about a year ago, and we actually just were, but it seems only yesterday. The end of this month, December 31st, marks the end of the Monterbach Silver exhibit, celebrating 3 generations of the same family dating back to pre-colonial times and beyond. The same family, the Monterbach family, I'll call them the grandfather, the son, and the grandson, that made some exquisite pieces of flatware and hollowware. And we just wanted to thank our guest curators, Terry Royal West and Piazza DuPont, for helping to make this exhibit possible. The first exhibit that we know that really got into this topic. And we also want to thank our private lenders and also our institutional lenders, including our very good friends at the Reading Public Museum, the Wadsworth Interim of Hartford, Connecticut, the Winterthur Museum in Delaware, And also, especially in particular, the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It was a major coup for us to be able to borrow that, those items. But the exhibit does close at 2 p.m. on Friday, December 31st, so you do have a few more weeks to come in for it. I do encourage you to come in, because once the exhibit closes, like other exhibits, those pieces will scatter to the winds, and who knows if they'll ever be back together, much less in Berks County ever again.
Yeah.
Now, the exhibit that's going to replace that, Simon, if you want to help me out with this. And,
oh, absolutely. Keeping cozy.
Yeah, keeping cozy, just in time for the winter season to stay warm and cozy. We're going to have an exhibit on historic Berks County coverlets. So, Simon, if you want to talk about it, and I'll scroll through some images on the computer here.
Once again, keeping cozy on Berks County coverlets is being put on by P. Allison DuPont, who is an HSBC trustee. And right now we've got probably, I think we said 20 coverlets that we're going to be displaying in this particular exhibit.
It's a bit more, but yeah, 20 is a good round number.
Good round number. We're going to have 10 on at one time, and then we're going to break and come back with the other 10. But these coverlets really are a unique piece of Berks County. They made them in many different counties, but the motifs that are incorporated within these coverlets are exquisite. You have naturally the tulips. I don't know that there are any unicorns, but you have tulips, stars. What else, Josh?
We have one. We actually just received it the other day coming up from Florida. It's a Berks County piece. But actually, most of these are going to be ours. You can actually see our catalog number there on the screen. But we have one coming up from Florida that's got a turkey on it. And it's probably going to be our main publicity image to use on the promotional material and the postcards and what have you.
But parrots and other birds like such as that. But they're really kind of unique. And one of the things that I think people are going to find unique is that when they first started making these coverlets and they were woven on regular looms, they could only attain a certain size. And
you can actually see right here on this one, I backtracked to this one, you can see the seam right here where they joined the two halves together.
So if they wanted to make a coverlet that would fit on a bed, they had to seam those two together. But then came a French invention called the jacquard, which allowed them, and it's pretty unique, and we're hoping we can get an example of this for the exhibit, an extension on a regular type of loom that they would actually, in many cases, have to remove the second floor or at least cut a portion of the second floor of the building where the loom was to add this extension on so that they could make a one-piece coverlet that was full size. So that's unique. But I think another thing that's even more unique about that is how they did the weaving, because they used a punch card system, much like the predecessor. For those of you who are as old as I am, or at least in their 50s, it used to be on the computer cards were done on an IBM punch card, and they each had these little punch holes in it, and the sequencing of those punch holes were how the computer program worked. Well, this jacquard loom used something very similar. It used a punch card type of system to weave the intricate patterns that you see
Here's
in
the
that.
turkey here. It's a bit
okay.
to the side. Turn your TV sideways, you'll be able to see the turkey upright. But
So
this is the one that came up from Florida.
It really is. It's really pretty neat. Now, we have for the opening lecture?
Yes,
it's going to be part of our second Saturday program for
February.
For February.
Yep. February 12th, it's going to be Ronald Walter. He is a researcher, collector, and author, and he spent over 3 decades studying the field of textiles, and he's a board member of the Coverlet Museum out in western Pennsylvania. He's going to be presenting an illustrated talk called The Fancy Coverlets of Berks County, but the exhibit will open on February 12th and run until the first week of November of next year, 2011.
And so the opening program is going to be on Saturday morning, February 12th. The refreshments will start at 9:30.
Yep.
The program will start at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah. Run for about an hour, and then with questions and answers afterwards. Yeah.
And that's just half of the special exhibits we'll be doing next year. The major exhibit for next year is going to be something that's very near and dear to Simon's heart, and I'm a non-native, but I'm coming up to speed very quickly on this. Racing at Berks County. Simon, if you want to...
Yeah, this is going to be pretty special, ladies and gentlemen. This is called Racing in Reading and Berks, and we've had the idea about a year ago, and if you've been in the county for any time period, you'll remember back especially in the 60s, but the late 50s, early 60s, racing has been a very major part Reading scene, with the Reading Fairground was one of them.
1924.
Yeah, 1924, the first sprint cars ran at the Reading Fairgrounds. The Reading Fairgrounds had been used for sulky racing and horse racing before that, but they ran the first sprint cars. And so Reading and Berks County has had an incredibly long history of racing. You had not only the fairgrounds, but you had Maple Grove Dragway, okay, one of the earliest drag strips in the United States, and definitely one of the earliest on the East Coast. But you also had the Duryea Hill Climb, where Charles Duryea and his daughter tested their automobiles for their endurance going up the what is now Duryea Drive up Mount Penn. And you also had, a little bit lesser known, just during the 60s for about 8 years, they had the road races at the Reading Airport. So there's always been a highly competitive spirit and an affiliation and an affinity by the Berks County populace for racing. And many of the things that you look at, especially when you look at the fairgrounds and see some of the things that they've done, you can see how those, the practices that Lindy Vicari and Mr. Gaspari and some of the things that they instituted at the Reading Fairgrounds led to what we see in NASCAR today. One thing in particular is the fan club base. I mean, it was Reading, Pennsylvania, where you really started seeing the inceptions of fan clubs, you know, in an organized fashion. Al Tasnati, Toby Tobias, just to name a few. And they all had the fan clubs. Tommy Hendershot. Well, he would have been a sprint car driver. But the stock car racers, I mean, they had their own fan clubs, and they, you know, all the fans sat in one section of the grandstands. And I mean,
would have told you, they just took it.
No, they just did it.
They would congregate based on their driver of choice.
It was incredible. So it really is a rich history. I mean, when you also look at the Reading Fairgrounds and you see drivers like A.J. Foyt, Parnelli Jones, the Unser brothers, Mario Andretti, Joey Chitwood, Tommy Hendershot, for sure. I mean, they all cut their teeth at the Reading Fairgrounds, and I believe it was, let me see who. The fellow Johnny Rutherford, when he was commentating for ABC Sports, said anybody who was anybody in racing raced at Reading, Pennsylvania at one time. Yeah, Mario Andretti. So they all came here. So we're really excited about this exhibit. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we can't wait to put it on for you. This is going to be great.
It's sort of a preview of the upcoming exhibit in December on the 11th, the second Saturday, part of our second Saturday lecture series. We're having Evan Jones, who's the communications director from Maple Grove Raceway, to talk about the history of Maple Grove, who got, since their inception in 1962, and it's a sort of a feature, or what's the theatrical term, the coming event,
a prelude,
sort of a trailer or prelude, if you will,
prelude to the exhibit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Maple Grove was, you know, he said in 1962, at that time when it first started, I think it was only a 1/5 mile drag strip.
Then they expanded it to a quarter later.
But now when you look at the events that they have on there, all the, you know, top name drag racers, they race there, and they will tell you that, you know, after Maple Grove, if you want to see as good a drag racing as Maple Grove, you've got to go out to Pomona, California, the Texas Speedway down in Ennis, Texas, you know. And that's, you know, it's that important. We have a home viewer. Home viewer?
Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you, gentlemen?
We're doing well.
Good, thank you.
I was curious to know if you are also, you mentioned Maple Grove Dragway on your upcoming program for the spring for racing. Are you going to be covering the Brecknock Speedway when it was Futures?
No, but if you can get us information, we can probably include
We're interested in just about anything. I was just looking at my notes. There was one in Fritztown that opened up in 1949. They even had races up at Kutztown at the fair. Tommy Hendershot raced up in Kutztown, and they said, you know, he was doing good if he got the mud above the treetops.
And then there was also the horse track where the Governor Mifflin School is today, too.
Okay, well, did they race cars there?
I might be able to cover you some pictures on that.
Why don't you give Josh a call tomorrow at the at the Historical Society tomorrow, and we'd love to talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah. You have our number?
If you give it to me quick, I'll write it right down.
610.
Go ahead.
610.
Okay.
375. 4375. We're interested in just about anything. We're interested in photos, we're interested in stories, we're interested in audio clips, video clips. We're even trying to get vehicles into the building.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to give me that number one more time?
Oh,
please?
sure. 610
Yep,
375
375.
4375.
Okay, and as for Josh?
Yep, that's me.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, we look forward to hearing from you.
Right.
Okay. All right, what else we got? We got a lot on our plates here, folks, and we're pressed for time. What else we got going, Jack?
Just a reminder about the second Saturday. They start at 10 a.m. and breakfast at 9:30, and that'll be the December.
We have December 11th.
Yep,
That's
December
gonna
11th.
Be,
and
yeah.
the January program, which we'll talk about more in the TV show. January program is going to be Hawk Mountain. We're even going to have a live raptor there. So
Yeah.
you know that's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, Hawk Mountain's a great organization. That's going to be great. Okay, what else we got? We talked about that. We talked about the first Saturday programs for Hawk Mountain. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, okay. We also have
Something
coming
new
up,
this year.
Yeah, something new this year. We have what I'm calling the holiday open house. Between Christmas and New Year's, a lot of times where kids, you know, they're out of school, they might not have a lot to do. Their parents want to take them out for an afternoon. So this year, on Wednesday, the 29th of December, we're going to be having an open house at the Historical Society. And it's going to take place the whole day long. Admission to the museum and the Historical Society is free. And we're also having a gentleman by the name of Brian Belge and his interactive theater, and he's going to be there to do a program called Scrooge, which is based on A Christmas Carol. Again, it's a free event. There are going to be 2 performances of Scrooge, and one of them is going to be at 11 o'clock. The other one's going to be at 1 o'clock. And we, next couple of days, if you need more information, just give the Historical Society of Berks County a call. We can give you that information. Or check out our website, because I know we'll have information on the program up in the next couple of days. So, we have another home viewer. Home viewer. Are you there? Hello?
I didn't catch the dates of that race exhibit coming up.
Yes, the exhibit's going to open on the second Saturday in April, which I believe is the April 12th.
Uh-huh.
And it will run for a year.
A year.
Yep.
1 year.
So that'll be April 12th of next year to April 12th of the following year.
Yeah, roughly April 12th of the following year. Yep.
Yeah, I think we're going to need that much time. This is going to be a well-attended exhibit. I mean, all of ours are, but, you know, I think there's so many people that have such close ties to racing in Reading and Berks that we wanted to keep this up for a while.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a very, very, very crowded scenario with most of us race fans, including me, since I've been going out there when I was 5 and 6 years old.
Yep.
And I'm one of the die-hard fans, and this is I'll be there, and I want to know to make sure I get in there.
Well, we're doing it for you, my friend. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching.
You're welcome.
Okay, Josh mentioned earlier on, we have the Henry Janssen Library. As we told the caller earlier, the Henry Janssen Library is closed right now. We closed right before Thanksgiving for the installation of high-density shelving, okay? Now, high-density shelving, what does that mean? Well, it's a special kind of shelving that is collapsible, and it sets on tracks, and so you can close the stacks of books together and just leave one aisle. So you can pick up about 60 to 80% more space in a location using this. And this was provided to us by a very generous contribution grant that was given to us by the Wyomissing Foundation and also the Hollenbach family. And it'll allow the citizens of Reading and Berks County greater accessibility to use this material, and we'll be able to provide better service. Why don't you cycle through those?
Yeah, here's some nice photos here. Basically, this is how it was as of about a week and a half ago. We've gone from static bookshelf, this is the before, and this is why we're closed.
And that's only one floor of the materials that we hold. So
it's like finding, if you wanted to find a book and all this for research, it's like finding a needle on a stack of needles. So this is why the library is closed right now, and of course we'll get the announcement out after the holidays when the library reopens. But this is all the books from the shelving, and this is the installation of the tracks. The bookshelves, the new bookshelves will move back and forth on tracks, so you only have one corridor at one time.
Okay.
One aisleway, if you will.
Were those all the photos?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay.
So
what's that?
Be patient with us, and we'll get an announcement out after the holidays.
Okay. Coming up in April, on April 2nd of 2011, we have a really great new program that the Historical Society is doing. It's called the Terence E. Connor Forum on the American Presidency. And this is a collaborative effort between HSBC, the Historical Society, and Albright College. Okay? It's a new annual lecture series that focuses on the American presidents. The first one that we are doing is going to be on Abraham Lincoln. It's going to take place at the Historical Society's main location of 940 Center Avenue here in Reading, and it's going to be start off with Dr. Matthew Pinsker from Dickinson College making the presentation on Abraham Lincoln. It's going to cover, Pinsker is a leader in among a new breeder of historians that offers different insights on Lincoln than previous historians. So it'll give you some new insights on the President Lincoln that you might not have considered before. But this is a great program because it's a little bit more varied than what we have been doing at the Historical Society. It gives a broader perspective. But it's not only the program, we also have a scholarship series that is included with this that is for high school students as well as college students, and awards, prize awards, cash awards will be awarded for the prize. And we also have trips that are going to be associated with this. For instance, we are taking a trip down to Atlanta to see the different things, museums down there that are associated with the Civil War, as well as we will be visiting on another trip Lincoln's Summer Cottage at down in Washington, D.C. So it's going to be a very, very well-accepted program. It's going to be a diverse program, much like maybe the 4 Centuries Tour. So I think that people who might not have looked to the Historical Society are going to see a new aspect here and a great new program. I guess we're coming towards the end of the program right now, and
if we have a chance, I'd just like to get our holiday hours up there.
Give them the holiday hours, Josh, if you would, please.
Certainly. First of all, we're going to close next Saturday, the
11th, excuse me.
Yeah, the 11th. We're going to close early on Saturday 11th at 12:30 for a holiday staff get-together. And here's our holiday hours. On Friday the 24th, we're going to close at 2 p.m. We'll be closed the 25th and we open the following Tuesday. And the same thing, the same schedule next week. On New Year's, we'll close at 2 p.m. That will be also when the Montabaur Silver exhibit closes. We'll be closed on the 1st, this Saturday, and we'll be reopened the Monday afterwards. And also, got to think about the winter closing procedure and inclement weather. Yes, snow and ice are coming. If you like it or not, stay tuned to FMZ, TV 69, and also their website.
Well, okay. Well, we thank all of you for watching. We'd like to remind you that this program is broadcast the first Wednesday of every month. Tell your friends about it. And we thank you for tuning in tonight. And from all of us at the Historical Society of Berks County, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a very happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. Thank you for all you do for us and helping us carry out the mission of the Historical Society and for your support.